sound on up there?
It'd be funny if all the lights just went boop.
Yeah. All right. Today is Friday, November 9th, 2018, and this is Crypto Unqualified. My name is Nathan, and across the table for me is my co-host Benjamin, and his favorite band is the Spice Girls.
Wow.
How you doing, Benjamin?
I'm a fan of Posh Spice.
You actually know their names.
Sure.
Wow.
Sporty Spice, Posh Spice. Those are actually the only two I know.
I actually just heard they're doing like a reunion tour. I'm sure you'll be
Really?
right there on the front row.
Oh, yeah.
Exciting. Excited for you.
I'm all about it.
Yeah. This week's show is brought to you by SeattleCrypto.com.
Because Seattle never sleeps, and neither does crypto.
Word up. That's the truth right there. What are we going to talk about today, Benjamin?
We're going to talk about crypto. That's the
Cool.
word on the street.
Sweet. That sounds good.
So we're going to take a look at the market overview, and then we're going to take a look at the top 3 cryptocurrencies out of the 100, the top 100 for market cap, that have gained the most in the last 30 days. And starting off, just looking at the market as a whole, everything's kind of mixed. Depending on the time frame that you're looking at, last 24 hours haven't been kind to the crypto market. Bitcoin's taken a bit of a dip. But for the most part, if you're looking at weekly time scale, everything's just about flat. We're just ranging.
We had that little bump over the last few days. I think we saw about 8 billion come into the market, and then almost as quickly as it came in, it kind of pittered out.
Which is news. It made news.
Always does.
Right?
Yeah.
$6 billion worth of capital leaves the crypto market. You know, what happens next?
Right.
But there's no big article when 8 billion comes into the market twice as fast.
That's because the big ballers, they still want to buy it up cheap.
Yeah.
They don't want to get everybody excited.
So
just yet, but it's getting there.
yeah, I still think that we're still going to continue to range, but I guess it's anybody's guess.
So, you want me to lead off with our top gainers?
Yeah.
Okay. So we do the top gainers of the last 30 days based on the top 100 coins via market cap. Let me say that over. We do the top gainer.
There's no easy way to say this.
Dude, there isn't.
It's
It's
just
a
not.
tongue
It's
twister.
just a mouthful.
It is. We do the top 30-day gainers based on the top 100 coins via market cap. Hopefully that made sense. Our number one gainer this week, I think, was actually on our top 3 last week and even the week before. It's Raven Coin. It's up 156%. And Benjamin, just a little bit about it.
Just as a refresher, in case anybody didn't catch it the last couple of times it was on here, Raven Coin is basically they're aiming to implement a blockchain which is optimized specifically for the use case of transferring assets, such as they're looking to tokenize assets.
Right.
And on their website, and this is just kind of silly, they say, in the fictional world of Westeros, ravens are used as the messengers who carry statements of truth, which is false. But Ravencoin is a use case specific blockchain designed to carry statements of truth about who owns what asset.
You sounded insulted about that. The raven, actually, like you have some knowledge of the bird that was actually used.
Anybody that watches Game of Thrones knows that, all they did, they wrote things down on paper, right? They tied it to a crow, and off it went.
Are you kind of pissed at Ravencoin?
No, I'm pissed at Game of Thrones because they're making me wait for friggin' ever for the next season.
Yeah.
Treason.
Pissed too. Anyways, okay, number 2 is Veritasium, up 122%.
Currently trading at $34.39.
And Veritasium, it's kind of new to us. I haven't heard a whole lot about it. It says Veritasium, it might be Veritasium. I might be totally just garbaging this verbiage. I apologize. I'm sure that's the case. But Veritasium is the gateway to peer-to-peer capital markets, the project's website proclaims. The platform opens investors access to smart contracts and financial machines that allow them to manage their investments and transfer values with other Veritasium users. Benjamin, What did you get anything out of that?
No.
All right.
They build blockchain-based peer-to-peer capital markets. That's what they do.
So if you want to know more about Veritasium, up 122%. If you own Veritasium, congratulations. Number 3 on the list, this is new to the list, is Wax, up 80%. And Wax, you were telling me a little bit about that, Benjamin. Were you thinking that was a leg off at EOS, or was that misinformation?
I'm not entirely sure. I came across it in the video. We'll touch on that a little bit later, but I think that it is a chain on the EOS network.
Okay. I have it pulled up here. Just what it's telling me, it says WAX is short for Worldwide Asset Exchange. It's a global decentralized marketplace for video game virtual assets. Looks like you can store different things there. This diagram, I think we can pull this up during the show. It shows you can store a sword in their
like any sword
in their asset exchange, whatever bad A sword that you have conquered in your
interesting
your gaming world.
I wonder if that's going to be a competitor for Mobile Go, or if it could be.
I think Mobile Go you would use to maybe buy the sword and then you would store it. I don't know. I don't know a lot about gaming. I'm not going to claim to know a lot about gaming.
So the website is wax.io. They say it's the safest and most convenient way to create, buy, sell, and trade virtual items to anyone, anywhere in the world. So that's interesting.
Yep. So check it out. Wax, if you own Wax, well, you're up 80%. Congratulations. Next up, this is something new we're gonna start doing. We're gonna start talking about the most active GitHubs, and specifically over the last 3 months.
Why would we do that?
Well, I think people, I would want to know. I like to know. I like to check in on projects. I like to see how active their GitHub is, to see, if people are working diligently on, either getting to their mainnet launch, or just fixing bugs, or just whatever. I want to see that it's active. I want to know that people are involved with a certain project.
Yeah, and here's why I feel like it's important, along with the blocktivity information, which we'll get to. But when you see somebody's GitHub activity, you see the actual work that's going on behind the scenes. So kind of like if you think about it like Microsoft, every time Microsoft puts out an update, all you see is, you have to update your computer. But if Microsoft were to put all the work that they're doing to get to that update on GitHub, you would see all that activity, all of the pull requests, the commits, and all of the work that's actually going into the code before they say update's ready. So you'd be able to kind of have a glimpse into what's happening behind the scenes while you're waiting for that product to become available. And with so much money being poured into different crypto technologies and currencies and the marketing behind them, it gets you a little bit more information than just what you can find on social media or just by Googling.
And so with that being said, where we go to get this information on GitHub activity is Crypto Miso, or Crypto Miso. And what they have there usually is the top 10, and they go all the way back from a year to 6 months to 3 months. And we're going to just focus on the last 3 months moving forward, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. We'll take a look at the last 12 as well, because that gives you, of course, a higher time frame view of what a project's been doing code-wise. But the last 3 months will give you more of a granular view. If a project's new, if they've only been around for 6 months, 5 months, but 3 out of the 5 or 4 out of the 5 that's just been banging away on that code, that'll be evident.
So the number one on our list here for GitHub activity over the last 3 months is INS, or InSolar. They've got over 500 commits in the last 3 months. And if you're not familiar with commits, commit is another way of saying a revision on a file or files. So I guess you could look at it at commit as could be a person that's committed to working on a file on a project, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, well, that's what I get out of it. Techie people working on code for whatever said project they're working on the GitHub. So commits are an indicator of people that are working on making the software better. So INS or Insular had over 500 commits in this 3-month period, which more than doubles our number 2 on our list, which is ZRX, which has been on that list for quite some time that we've been tracking. And ZRX has over 200 commits in a 3-month period. Coming in third is RChain with just over 100 commits in a 3-month period. So hopefully that's good information for people out there that are wondering about GitHub activity.
Yeah, the long and the short of it is, if you want to get some exposure into whether or not your favorite cryptocurrency is actually being worked on, seeing actual development, GitHub is where you find that, because it's really the only place. If a project doesn't have a presence on GitHub, either they're not working or they're totally closed source. They don't want any of their code or what they're doing to be public, and there should be a good reason for that, because any reputable project is gonna have something on GitHub, so people like us have access to see what they're doing. And it says, just so we can have a proper definition, a commit or a revision is an individual change to a file or a set of files. It's like when you save a file, except with a Git, every time you save it, it creates a unique ID that allows you to keep record of what changes were made, when they were made, and by whom. That's basically what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
Okay.
And next, we're going to start talking about blockchain activity. This is something new we're going to talk about on the show. Just let people know, how active some of the blockchains are out there, the ones that are actually up and running, they're working. And where we get that information is blocktivity.com.
Blocktivity.info.
.info.
I think you can get there by .com. You just Google it. Google Blocktivity and you'll find it. And kind of in the same vein as the GitHub information, you hear Bitcoin on the news or you hear Ethereum on the news, as these blockchains or these platforms, but who's using them, and how much traffic is on those. Just because something has a well-known name doesn't mean that it's the most widely used. And so Blocktivity, they say one way to consider a blockchain project is through its market cap. How much money is in the thing. Another way, closer to the real value in their opinion, is observing the activity on the blockchain. So lots of FUD and hype are responsible for misplaced capital in the cryptocurrency space. Here, Blocktivity says, we are observing which project is actually being used by people, which is, in our opinion, the best predictive indicator of value.
I think it puts things in perspective because, everybody always thinks Ethereum is kind of, well, not everybody, but people new to the space, even people that think they know, they just think Ethereum is kind of number one as far as blockchain because it has all the ICOs and the ERC20 tokens on it. But I mean, when we go to Blocktivity, we actually see that actually surprisingly Wax is number one in the last 7 days as far as activity.
And that's a new development. I mean, that's pretty brand new. But it just goes to show you this thing that just came out of nowhere and is now claimed the number one spot in terms of blockchain activity. It puts it in perspective to see what the transaction activity is versus Ethereum or versus Bitcoin.
We talked about how it was up 80% earlier, and we don't know a lot about it. It is fairly new to us, but especially to the Blocktivity chart here, with it being number one, it really it's kind of sprung up there. Number 2 is EOS, and number 3 is BitShares. EOS has primarily been at the top the last, what would you say, Benjamin? Last
month at least?
Month or so.
Yeah.
And then Ethereum actually is number 7 as far as the blocktivity, and they base this on operations within the blockchain. So it's not just transactions, but we talked about how it's voting, it's blogging, it's smart contracts, it's digital assets. Yeah. It's just every operation within that blockchain, and blocktivity tracks all that. And I think it's a great tool for seeing how is something, what are they doing? Is it working? It's up and running. What is it doing?
Yeah. And how much activity. It's a better metric than just transactions, because a transaction would just be like, I send you a nano, or,
right.
you send me a nano.
Right.
But these blockchains are used for so much more than just sending digital value back and forth.
It's actually funny you would mention Nano, because Nano is actually number 9 on the list, and I think it's pretty safe to say that all you're going to be tracking in Nano is transactions.
Yeah, at least as of right now.
Yeah, so that would be
another thing
exchange
that's
of money.
Really I love about blocktivity is the little odometer kind of icon on the right hand side.
Right,
and it just shows Bitcoin and Ethereum both just pegged to the red. And we've shown blocktivity before, but I don't think we've really talked about it a whole lot. But we'll be bringing this up pretty much every week going forward, and just touching on which chains are actually being used.
Yeah, I've never actually noticed that.
Yeah, pegged.
Yeah,
like they are at capacity. Hopefully that goes down. I mean, Ethereum, it is usable. There's just too many people using it.
Right.
Like it's.
Wow. Hope nobody's found us in
the crypto hound.
Yeah, protecting the crypto layer. We got all types of security around here. All
right. Next up, our lead story for the week. Jumping right into it, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission charges the founder of EtherDelta, which is a decentralized exchange, with operating an unregistered securities exchange. And
Zachary Coburn.
U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has charged Zachary Coburn, the founder of crypto token trading platform EtherDelta, with operating an unregistered securities exchange. And this has potentially far-reaching implications.
Yeah, so
a decentralized exchange is basically the holy grail of trading, especially for cryptocurrencies.
Centralized exchanges. With centralized exchanges, intermediaries such as companies act as a middleman in order to facilitate trading on their platforms. In exchange for providing this service, intermediaries collect trading fees. Essentially, centralized exchanges often act as a first place to go for newbies that are interested in trading cryptocurrency. Many users want to have an interface that connects them to both cryptocurrency trading and real economy, and centralized exchanges provide that. The operation of centralized exchange is relatively simple. If Bob wants to buy 5 Bitcoins, one of two situations can occur. Bob can go to the order book and find an offer that he is willing to accept. Normally, a matching algorithm automates this process. And if Bob is willing to buy 5 Bitcoins at the set asking price, then the Bob's buy order will automatically be matched with corresponding sell order that fulfills his requirement. Bob could also create his own buy order. This allows him to set the terms of the trade, specifying terms such as price and quantity. Decentralized exchanges. Unlike centralized exchanges, decentralized counterparties do not require intermediaries for their operation. It is peer-to-peer. Instead of matching buy orders and sell orders in the order book, a decentralized exchange operates by matching the people behind those buy and sell orders. For example, if Bob wants to purchase 5 Bitcoins, he would be directly matched with Alice, who also wants to sell 5 Bitcoins. From there, Bob and Alice can agree to the price and finalize their trades. A pre-programmed match and exchange software facilitates this entire process. so there is no need for any intermediary involvement.
I mean, the whole goal of crypto and Bitcoin is distribute, decentralize, right? And one of the choke points throughout the blockchain industry has been the exchanges. Bitcoin has never been hacked, right? The math is solid. The exchanges have been hacked like crazy.
South Korean Bitcoin exchange Ubit is filing for bankruptcy following a series of hacks.
Biggest exchange hacks in the history of cryptocurrencies. We have the Japanese exchange CoinCheck hacked for $532 million US.
Bitfinex exchange has revealed it was victim to a hacking attack.
Bancor, the popular exchange, was hacked yesterday.
$530 million stolen from a crypto exchange.
And as a result, investors have lost thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. Yeah.
Mount Gox.
Mount Gox.
This raises the total of cryptocurrencies that have been stolen from these exchanges over time to now $1 billion.
So one way to get around that central point of failure is to have an exchange that can allow buyers and sellers to somehow find each other without being paired up by a central service. And there's a number of decentralized exchanges which are doing just that. But as we see now, they're not dodging the regulation bullet.
Well, the SEC came out back in July 2017 last year. They did an investigation into a DAO token, that was ERC20 token launched on Ethereum, and basically they come to find out that it was a security, and not only that one, but that one had a code breach. Right, people lost millions of dollars in that particular.
Yeah.
That particular ICO.
It was one of the first ICOs on the Ethereum blockchain. I don't think it was the first, but it was one of the first.
Right.
But they had a bug in the code.
And they said it, and basically the important thing was they said it was a security. And so after this announcement came out that this DAO was a security, well, Ether Delta continued to trade it heavily, and I think that was the big reason that that this guy was just busted with Ether Delta, because he knowingly had Ether Delta still trading what the SEC had come out and said was a security. So luckily, he just got away with a fine. I mean, a hefty fine, less than $400,000, but no criminal charges. They just kind of flexed their chest, and he paid them. And a lot of people think, this could be a precursor to a bigger exchanges being shut down by the SEC. Binance, BitMEX, and I think it's a big concern.
Yeah, I mean, it should definitely be a concern for anybody else running a decentralized exchange, and I think it's really telling, the fact that this guy, he didn't put up a fight. He just said, "Here you go. Here's 400,000. My bad."
Yeah.
The fact that he could just come up with that, like, boom, there you go.
That's just pocket.
They
change.
gotta just be making so much money.
Yeah.
But if I was somebody involved with a decentralized exchange, looking at what has just happened, I would immediately pull up stakes, say we're not doing this anymore. Give my customers fair warning, but before doing all that, create a new decentralized exchange anonymously.
Exactly.
And then when I go to pull the plug, suggest this other alternative.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Unrelated to me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if they get 400 grand out of this guy that easily without a fight, they're going to go after others.
I think this has been a a real eye opener to the crypto world, because this was a decentralized exchange, but essentially they went after the founder, the programmer of this decentralized exchange, and it makes one wonder how long does the arm of the SEC reach?
And how okay, so it's a decentralized exchange, but how decentralized is it if the SEC can be like, you're the founder of this thing and now you're in trouble for what it's doing?
Right.
Like that to me seems like maybe it's not so decentralized, or maybe I don't know how you get around that.
Well, I think Ivan on Tech earlier was talking about how Dan Larimer, he just wrote the code for EOS and he didn't launch it, which I think is smart. It really protects him in that sort of aspect.
Yeah, EOS caught a lot of flack for their legal jargon, which was basically insulating them from prosecution,
right?
Basically for all that kind of stuff,
right?
Because it basically said the EOS network tokens have no value at all. Your risk is your own, blah blah blah. But they did that for this exact reason. They had to legally insulate themselves so that they could produce this product and bring it to market, and then just like throw their hands up and say, what people do with it is not our responsibility now. We didn't launch the main net. We're not doing anything. We just created the code. What people do with it is up to them.
It kind of brings me back to the whole brilliance of Satoshi, creating Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it anonymously, and there's some real brilliance there, because
just the amount of forethought
right.
that went into just everything with Bitcoin is incredible.
And I think for there to be a successful decentralized exchange, it's got to be created the same way, with anonymous developers, if that's even possible. Almost anonymous developers on a decentralized web.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the future of decentralized exchanges.
I feel like we'll see it. This was just a warning shot, and I guarantee you every other decentralized exchange took notice.
Even exchanges in general took notice, because we were talking about how one broker got shut down by the SEC earlier, about a month ago.
Yeah. So one broker was basically, if you had Bitcoin and you wanted to buy stocks with that Bitcoin, you could go to one broker. And I don't know how exactly they facilitated it, but you would give them your Bitcoin balance and start buying and selling stocks with it. And I think you would even accrue Bitcoin balance.
Right. I mean,
I don't think you were able to pull out US dollars. You gave them Bitcoin, you traded with it, you would get the subsequent value in Bitcoin,
right?
And you could pull it out. So right now, if you go to onebroker.com, you can see the domain has been seized. It says the domain for onebroker.com has been seized by the Federal Bureau of Investigation in accordance with all these other laws that they cite. And it's not the first time that it's happened. Like the government will just snatch up a platform, and then you're looking at a screen like this. It doesn't matter if you had $50,000 on one broker, you're not getting that back.
Yeah.
This thing's locked up indefinitely.
So it just goes to show you how far the SEC's arm can reach, because really any exchange globally, if they can prove that you're selling a security to U.S. citizens, securities that are unregistered, ultimately they can shut you down, is my understanding.
Yep. And they can.
And, Binance, I love Binance, by the way, but I think it's kind of a cat and mouse game with them, so they got to be careful what they list. If they're listing something that the SEC is deemed a security, and if they're selling those to U.S. citizens, then that could get them in quite a bit of trouble. But I think that they're probably going to try and stay in front of that as much as they can, being as big as they are.
Yep.
So
I got nothing else to add.
You got nothing else on that story?
Nope.
Yeah? Okay. What do we got? We got kind of a funny story for the day, right? didn't our boy John McAfee?
Yeah, let me pull that up. Sorry, I don't even have that.
Kind of funny story coming out of the John McAfee corner. Everybody knows McAfee's pretty eccentric, crazy crypto dude. Came out and said he was gonna, eat his own, if Bitcoin didn't hit like 1 million. I don't know, what was it, 1 million by 2020 or something?
Yeah.
Anyways, McAfee's crazy crypto man, and he has gone so far as to just, I would say, I don't know what I would call this event. He tattooed a, I guess it's the symbol of Skycoin on his mid back. He tramp stamped Skycoin on his back after this recent, Malta conference they just had. What do you think about that?
John McAfee is really good at pumping whatever coin he's already bought up. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's really if you don't know who John McAfee is, he's the guy that created the antivirus software, McAfee, that I would never use. But
why wouldn't you use it?
So all of the antivirus software, this is getting a little bit out of scope, but antivirus software in general has so much hooked into your operating system. It is like the best, largest attack platform for any malware that gets into your system.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you've got a sufficiently intelligent malware or virus, whatever, that can exploit your antivirus, because it has so much hooked into your operating system, it can use that to do whatever it wants in your system. So anyway, I don't use it. I don't suggest other people use it. If you've got Windows, use Windows Defender. It's the best option.
What I think is funny is, so he gets this SkyChain. No, I didn't want to do it. He gets the SkyChain tattoo.
Yeah,
and it's almost like you think it's going to pump it, and it actually like immediately went down like 7%.
I want to just play this real quick because I mean the other thing that's great is just like he's really entertaining, and he's completely serious about this stuff. Let me play it real quick.
Well, I'll do that. So now, all right, I'm John McAfee. My tattoo is finished. When I first came in, I thought it would be the size of a $50. No, it's about
It's a billboard.
There you have it. No, I suffered greatly. Why? Because with suffering comes great joy. I'm joyful.
He could be a character on Game of Thrones.
Seriously, part of me believes that
God bless you.
This is just a character that he's playing. He's a smart guy. Maybe just all the money and kind of getting up there in years. He's 76.
Man, he's going strong. I mean, not that that's old, but I mean,
blow will keep you going quite a while.
He was drunk in that video?
I think he's high as shit. Yes.
When the last coin's going to mine, or
I do.
Even 10 years
so big. I can't wait for you to get your tattoo. We're gonna give Benjamin a tattoo next episode. A secret coin tattoo.
It better be a crypto kitty
he's gonna
tattoo.
promote. Although this coin's gonna just skyrocket after we see it.
Oh yeah. On
Benjamin's back. Oh man, well I think that's all we got for today's show, unless you got something else.
No, that's it. That's all we got.
Want to give our closing argument?
Stay off drugs, kids. Don't go McAfee. If you like the show or have questions, let us know in the comments section below, and be sure to hit the subscribe button so we can keep you up to date on everything happening in crypto.
You can also find us on Twitter individually at @CryptoKahuna
or at Ninja Benjamin.
That's the show for today.
No.
What was it?
Or for a deeper dive into crypto essentials, you can go to seattlecrypto.com and find a full archive of all the Seattle and find a full arc of
you can full archive.
My record just started skipping right there.
Shit, that's funny.
And that's the show.